let me start off by saying this. I watch a lot of podcasters and YouTubers who do these video reactions to a lot of shows and movies. And of course, with me being a horror film fan, I'm usually watching the stuff with the horror films. And I see these people with these reaction to Scream 6 or Halloween Ends or whatever the film might be. And usually it's a video of either them, it shows them watching the movie and them reacting as they're watching it, or they'll just give you their take on the movie. And they'll say, okay, I just watched this movie here. That's why I started doing these types of videos. The movie reviews, the show reviews, all that stuff. And the stuff with the video games. Now, with that being said, I had mixed thoughts about doing a video like this, and especially on this movie. And I'm going to tell you why. On one hand, and I have to admit, this is a little bit embarrassing because it wasn't until last year that I really started to get a little bit more interested in action films, because mostly I watch horror, comedy, suspense, thriller, all that type of stuff. And I think the first Taken movie, I didn't watch that until 2015 or 16, so that kind of pushed me a little closer towards it. And last year I saw Fast X, and then I caught up on the other Fast and Furious movies. And so as I'm looking at these different videos on YouTube, I see most of them are horror films, but again, that's because of the algorithm. That's what it gives me, because that's what I'm always watching, and that's what I always talk about. And so I felt embarrassed about the fact that, because here's one thing I have to admit. I didn't watch the Terminator films until this year. Yes. Now, whatever, I give myself a little bit of credit for just having the courage to just come out and say that. I know this is something I should have watched a long time ago, but I mean, hey, what are you going to do? You can't change the past. Back then, I wasn't really that interested in action films. I know I should have seen all the stuff that pretty much everybody else in the universe had seen. The Terminator films, the Mission Impossible films, the John Wick or Fast and Furious, whatever. So now I've watched a lot of that, and I'm still catching up to some of them. But then, on the other hand, here's another thing that made me feel a little bit better. I think I saw a video. I didn't watch it yet, but as I was scrolling on YouTube, I saw something that showed that somebody was watching the Avengers for the first time last year or earlier this year. And they got hundreds of thousands of views. And at the same time, there's also people doing video reactions to other old action films and other types of films from the 70s and 80s, you know, the Lethal Weapon and stuff like that. I think I saw one of them first time watching Rocky. Go back even further, first time watching Psycho. These people are getting tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, this shouldn't be a problem then. So with that being said, I just watched all 6 Terminator films. And at first I was contemplating whether or not I was going to talk about all 6 films in this one video or just divide it separately. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do it separately. So 1 film per video in each of these. And now I will say Terminator is now one of my favorite franchises, especially for action films. And I would definitely watch them again. The thing that ticks me off is the 3rd one has been deplatformed from streaming, but that's a different story. I'll dive into that in another video. Now, going into this film here, I'll say, yes, I would definitely buy this film. I will buy this digitally on YouTube or Amazon. I don't really have to go through the long list of the cast members because 99% of you watching this video have already seen the movie, so you already know who's in it. But hey, props to them for doing it. I know they switched up John Connor's character in the different films. So really, all I can tell you here is I would give this movie I give it a good 8.5, 9. Google users gave this movie 92%. Letterboxd, 78. Internet Movie Database, 81. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 100%. I think I only saw, as I was scrolling the internet, there was probably only one other movie that actually got to 100%. And the surprising part about it is, I don't even think it was an Avengers film. I was thinking to myself, Avengers Endgame probably got 100%. But I think it got like close to it, like 97, 98. Now, I might as well just read the synopsis, even though you already know. But hey, I talk about movies and shows on this show a lot, so might as well just, here we go. Disguised as a human, a cyborg assassin known as a Terminator travels from 2029 to 1984 to kill Sarah Connor. Sent to protect Sarah is Kyle Reese, who divulges the coming of Skynet, an artificial intelligence system that will spark a nuclear holocaust. Sarah is targeted because Skynet knows that her unborn son will lead the fight against them. With the virtually unstoppable Terminator in hot pursuit, she and Kyle attempt to escape. Now, in this first movie, he was more of a bad guy, obviously. And, afterwards he became the good guy. I would say he was good/neutral because he still had that dark side to him, but ultimately he was protecting her in the other movies. But, yeah, after watching all 6 films, I'm like, yeah, this is one of my favorites now. Would I put it above some other action films? Probably not, but I would definitely put this in my top 5. So I like this film. I give it about a 9. I think 9 is fair. Because earlier this year, what was it? It was either late last year or earlier this year where I was scrolling YouTube and I just decided to, just for no reason, I just said, you know what? Everybody else watches these movies. And keep in mind, you know me, I'm not a person who just automatically goes with the, the majority opinion, where it's like, okay, they all watched it, they like it, so that must mean I have to watch it and like it. There's part of that, but then there's also, I saw a clip on YouTube where he walked into the police station and, he said something, and then he said, I'll be back, and he got out the door. 5 seconds later, he comes crashing in, he's shooting everybody in there. So I said, okay, now I'm going to have to watch this. And I watched it, and I'm glad I did. I'm mad at myself because I didn't see this years ago. But I guess better late than never. So give this movie a 9, and I'm going to get to the other movies. And then afterwards, I'm going to get to the John Wick movies, the Jason Bourne movies. I've watched all the Fast and Furious movies, but as you all know, that's my favorite action series. I'm going to watch them all again and do the individual reviews for each of them. I've seen 2 of the Mission Impossible movies. I saw this latest one, and then the first one. I got to watch the ones in between, give my reviews of them. So that's that. So I'm catching up, people. I'm catching up. So like and subscribe. I got a lot more action movies coming. And of course, you already know I don't stop talking about horror films, so I still have plenty of them coming. Still got plenty of reviews to do of them. Halloween movies, Jason movies, all of that. So like and subscribe. I got more coming.